Hello friends, welcome to the third video tutorial of the series Basic Android Tutorials. In the previous video I have shown you how you can download, install and update the Android Studio. So in this video I will show you how you can set up the Android virtual device and we will make our first Android app. So let's get started. So this is the screen from the previous tutorial from where we have left. So we will continue from there. Here we can see different options for Android Studio, but instead of creating a new project directly, first we configure the Android Studio. So click on configure and from there click on the SDK manager. Here we can see a new window. Just click on the launch standalone SDK manager. Here you can see a new window pop-ups, which is the Android SDK manager. Here you can see the updated components are already installed. So just go down and check the Android support library. Android support library is the collection of codes which makes your Android application backward compatible. Also check the Google USB driver. By using these drivers, you can connect your real Android device for the testing and debugging to the Android Studio. Also check the Intel x86 emulator acceleration. This is the program which uses the Intel virtualization technology and speed up your emulator a bit. Just check this and uncheck the all other checkboxes. After unchecking the all and checking these specific boxes from the extras section, just click on install the corresponding number of packages. So click on it. Now click on the Android SDK license which is on the top and check the accept license. Also accept the license for the HAXM. So check on the accept license and click on the install. Now wait for the installation to be completed. After the downloading has been successfully completed, just close this window, click OK and open up the specific location where you have installed the Android Studio. So after going to the specific folder, open up the SDK and open the extras, and from here open the Intel folder. Here you can see the hardware accelerated execution manager. So open it and install it by opening Intel HAXM Android.exe, or you can install it silently by opening this silent_install.bat file. So open up this executable file. If the security dialog box will appear, just click yes to continue. If this dialog box will appear, just click yes. Now click on the next. Here you can see the default value and the range between which you can set your value. So recommended value is the default value for the Intel HAXM. So just click next. Now click on the install. After the Intel hardware accelerated execution manager successfully installed, uncheck this box and click on the finish. If you don't install it manually, you will see the error HAXM is not working properly and the emulator runs in emulation mode while running the emulator. So you also have to install it manually. You have to follow this process if you are using Windows. If you are using Mac operating system or Linux, you have to follow a different approach. Here is the official link from the Intel which provides you the step-by-step instruction for installing the hardware accelerated execution manager on the Mac OS. Here you can see the different steps such as introduction, prerequisites, system requirements, downloading Intel HAXM and installing it. And for the Linux, this is also the official link from the Intel which provides you the step-by-step instruction for installing the Intel hardware accelerated manager on the Linux. So you have to follow these steps if you are using the Mac or Linux. I have given these links in the description below. So if you are using Mac or Linux, You have to follow these links and complete the process of installing Intel HAXM. So for the Windows user, we have set up the Intel HAXM. Now we will create our first Android app. So go back and click on here, start a new Android Studio project. Now here we have to give the application name. So I am giving it Hello World. It is a good programming practice that you should capitalize all the words of your application name. If you start your name with a small letter, it will give you a warning below here. The application name for most of apps begin with an uppercase letter. So give it the proper name according to the proper naming convention. Now for the company domain, you have to give it according to the proper conventions. So for this, I am giving it programming station.example.com. Here you can see the package name changes accordingly, which contains the company domain in reverse order followed by your application name. Here you can see the com.example. Com.example is a universal package name which is used for only demonstration or testing purpose. By using com.example package name, you can't upload your app to the Play Store. So I am using it only for the demonstration purpose, so I will continue with this package name. Now for the project location, your location should not contain any white spaces. Also you can see a warning below here, project location should not contain any white spaces as this can cause problems with the NDK tools. So if you want to choose the default location for your projects, just click yes, but make sure your location does not contain any white spaces. Or you can browse the path manually by clicking on these three little dots and choose your project folder. So I am going to the same Android Studio folder. Here I am creating a new folder by clicking on this icon and I am naming it as programming station, in short ps underscore project. Make sure it doesn't contain any white spaces and click OK. Now after creating the folder for your projects, just click OK. Here you can see it does not contain any white spaces. After setting up the path for your project, just click next. Here you can see we can develop the applications for the phone and tablet, Android Wear such as Android watches or Google Glass, and also for the TV. So in this tutorial series, we will develop the Android applications for the phone and tablet. So we will set it up and leave the others. Here you can set the minimum SDK. The already selected minimum SDK is the API level 15, which is the Android 4.0.3. So here you can see the lower API levels target more devices but have fewer features available. By targeting API 15 and later, your app will run on approximately 96.2% of the devices that are active on the Google Play Store. So if you want your app to target the 100% of the devices, you can select the minimum SDK from right here, such as for Android 2.3 you can target the 100% of the devices, but it is not recommended to target the Android 2.3 as your minimum SDK because there are a lot of features that are not available for the previous APIs, and there are also the performance issues, and also there are a lot of APIs which are deprecated since then. So you have to add a lot of extra code to work on them, and even then there are performance issues will be there. So I will recommend you the minimum SDK is 4.0.3, which targets almost the 97% of the devices, which is more than enough to target. So after setting up the minimum SDK, just click on next. So here you can see there are a lot of pre-built activities from which you can choose. So I am choosing the simplest one, is empty activity. After clicking on it, just click next. Now here you have to give the activity name. Now the activity is the Android application component which provides a screen to which a user can interact. In other words, you can say that any screen of the Android application is an activity. So I am choosing the default name for the activity name and just click on finish. Now our first project has been created successfully. For the first time, it may take some time for the initialization. So close the tips and let it index itself. So now after the indexing has been done, our project is ready to use. Now here you can see the project structure, which I will explain in my further videos. For now we have to set up the Android virtual device. For this, click on this icon. A window will pop up which contains all of your virtual devices. Now the Nexus 5 is the default virtual devices which is already created by the Android Studio. Now you can launch this virtual device by clicking on this run icon, or you can edit its configuration by clicking on this pencil icon, or you can perform other operations by clicking here. You can create any number of virtual devices from here by clicking on create virtual device. Now I am going to edit this virtual device, so just click on this pencil icon, and from here you can change the name of your AVD. Now click on the show advanced settings and go down. Here you can see the RAM assigned to this virtual device. You have to set the RAM accordingly, which you have set during the installation of Intel Hardware Accelerated Execution Manager. So I am giving it 1 GB, means 1024 MB, otherwise it may cause problem. So after setting this, just click on finish. Now our AVD is ready to use. Now I am going to launch it by clicking on this icon. Now it is starting the AVD, it will take some time. Now our virtual device emulator has been started. Here you can see it is started successfully without any error. So it will take some time to load up itself. Now after the emulator is loaded, open up this lock by dragging it upward and click on got it. Now our emulator is successfully loaded and is ready to use. Now click on this icon to run our app. Now the ATB is loading the application to the specific emulator. From here you can choose any device on which you want to run your application if you have more than one. So I have only one for now. So after selecting this, click on OK. Now if you want to same device to run for the future project, just check this checkbox and click OK. So wait a bit. Now our project has been installed and running. Here you can see the hello world. So in this video I have shown you how you can set up the AVD and create your first project and run on the specific virtual device. And in the next video we will explore the basic Android terminologies such as activity, fragment, services, broadcast receivers and others. So this is it for this video. If you have any problem during the installation process, just comment it below. I will be happy to help you. Thank you.